Hi everybody, welcome back to Sherry Tries That, or welcome if you're new. What I am going to do this week, well, you saw by the thumbnail, I'm going copper, blonde copper. I'm going to dye my hair a blonde copper shade. I'm going to do it myself at home, and I'm nervous. I'm not nervous that it's not going to turn out. I mean, I don't think I'll botch the job, is what I mean. But I'm nervous because I hope it's not too dark or too intense. I'm nervous because I am used to seeing myself as a blonde and thinking of myself as a blonde. I've been a blue-eyed blonde since I was born, and I think it'll be kind of unsettling to look at myself in the mirror and see something other than blonde hair. I'm also a little nervous about when my gray roots start coming back in. I think they mix a little bit better with blonde than they will with red. If I like the blonde, or if I like the copper and the roots, are growing back in, then I can touch it up, re-dye my hair. But if I don't like it, then I will have to live with the root growth until the color fades and washes out. The other thing is that my gray starts to show like 2 weeks after I dye my hair, and you can't keep re-dyeing your hair every 2 weeks. So not super sure about that. But I still want to try it. So come along with me as I dye my hair blonde copper. Let's see how it turns out. Pray for me. All right, here we go. I'm still very scared. I think that my concerns about the gray are valid, which would be a good reason not to do this. But I'm going to go ahead and do it. Gloves. Oh, this is not sponsored, but I'm using L'Oreal Paris Superior Preference. This is shade 48, Copper Blonde. I've been calling it Blonde Copper. Take the lid off of bottle number 1. Then take, okay, so there's a little tip lid. Take that off of bottle number 1. Then take the lid off of bottle number 1. Take the lid off of number 2. Pour the contents of bottle 2 into the bottle 1. Put the lid back on tightly. Put your finger over the tip, which is now open, and shake. Here we go. Should I do this? It's not too late to turn back. Now we're going to put a timer on for 25 minutes and then wash it out. It's the next day, and I've styled my hair, put on the same makeup. I even put the same top on so that the before and after is a fair comparison. I should have listened to myself, I think, because I don't like it, and it's not because I think I did a bad dye job. I think I don't like it because I'm used to seeing myself as a blonde, and I think of myself as a blonde. And it's startling every time I look in the mirror and see this red. I think the other part is that in the thumbnail, you'll see the picture is definitely, a combination of blonde and light copper, as if they were both done like highlights, or one all over color and one was done as highlights. What I'd really like to do now is cap highlights with my blonde, to mix the two. I might like that better, but I know darn well that I should wait at least 2 weeks before putting highlights in. And highlights are harsher than all over color. So, I mean, all over color dye does harm your hair a bit. In the shower, I could feel the difference. Even when I put their excellent conditioner on, it still didn't feel as kind of silky and smooth as my hair normally does after a conditioner. So I know that my hair is somewhat damaged. It doesn't really look damaged, I don't think. But I know from the feel of it that it has been damaged a bit. So for me to now do highlights, which is bleaching, which is stronger, more harmful, I'd be really taking a chance with the health of my hair. But I want so much to do that, like tonight, before I go back to work on Monday. But I'm probably going to grapple with that all day, and probably all day tomorrow too, which is Sunday, because, one voice is like, don't do it. There's a danger. And my other voice is going to go, but that's what I want to do. And I generally get into trouble when I listen to the second voice, which is just like last night. I mean, if you saw earlier in the video when I was about to apply it, it's like, I don't want to do this. I don't think it's a good idea. I don't, and the other voice is like, just do it. So anyway, maybe what I'll do is try that in 2 weeks. What I thought of doing then was putting on the cap, pulling pieces of hair through, and using clarifying shampoo, because clarifying shampoo will help. It helps the color to fade faster. My only concern with that is that it doesn't fade it in one use. If you use clarifying shampoo like every day for a week or something like that, it will help it fade faster. So I don't think that one application of clarifying shampoo will do what I want it to do. And you can't put the cap on the next day and expect to get the same pieces through. That's just never going to happen. So I went to the drugstore to look for a cap, thinking I'll sort of take whatever the clarifying shampoo gives me. And while I was in the drugstore, I saw this product that I had never heard of before, had never seen before, but then I've never looked for anything like this before. But it's called Color Oops. Again, this video is not sponsored, and it wasn't cheap, but this is supposed to reverse your color back to what it was pre-dye. So I'm not going to turn my whole head back, but I'm going to put on a cap, pull a fair bit of hair through the holes, and then put this on those pieces. So this is supposed to shrink the dye molecules so that they are more easily washed away. So if this works the way that I understand it will work, it will reverse my hair back to the blonde. And then when I take the cap off, I should have sort of this is the base with blonde highlights of however much hair I take out. And I plan to take a fair bit of hair out, like more maybe than I would normally do for highlights. I hope that this works, because I hope I don't end up with something much worse than this. This isn't bad, I'm just not used to it. And it's just more intense than I had imagined. So I hope I don't end up with something horrible, because then I don't know what I'm going to do. And as I said, it wasn't cheap, so it would be a big waste of money too. So I'm now going to spend time pulling my hair through on a cap as if I'm highlighting it, and we'll see what I get. All right, I spent somewhere between an hour and an hour and a half pulling out hair through the holes in this highlighting cap. Takes a while to do when you're doing it by yourself. So I've just been reading the instructions on this Color Oops, and oh my goodness, these instructions were only on the inside. They weren't on the outside of the box. And after you mix the stuff and whatnot, you put it on, you put a cap on, and you keep it for up to 20 minutes. But the part that's got me going, oh my God, is the rinsing. So it says, rinse with warm water and shampoo, then rinse for 15 to 20 minutes. And then it says, yes, 20 minutes. Then shampoo again and rinse for another 5 minutes. Repeat this 2 more times. Additional rinsing is needed for longer or thicker hair. So first of all, how am I going to know when 5 minutes is up or 20 minutes is up when I'm in the shower? I'm afraid I'm going to lose track of how many times I've done it. And it says that this is very important for you to get the effect that you want. And if I had known I was going to have to do it that much, I think I would have waited until tomorrow to do this, because it's 11 o'clock at night and I'd kind of like to go to bed soon. But after taking the time to do all this, I'm going to finish. I'm not going to take this cap off and redo all this tomorrow. So this is a bit more than I thought I was getting into. And I'm getting cranky. This better be worth it. That's all I can say. All right, here we go. Oh, and you're to work quickly. Okay, moment of truth. I'm probably more scared now than I was yesterday. Let's just see what we got. I recorded this part yesterday when I first did the red, but my camera didn't actually record it. So what I'm putting in my hair now is just a combination leave-in conditioner and heat protectant. It's after midnight and I would love to go to bed. But I think I should blow dry it so it's straight, so that it's a fair comparison to my blonde hair and then my copper hair. Hopefully now this is blonde and copper. So it's day 3, and this is how it turned out after using the highlighting cap and the Color Oops dye remover. So I think it looks more like strawberry blonde now. However, the long under parts are copper. So I'm getting almost an ombre effect where it's lighter and kind of darker at the ends. I'm going to try to show you the back. I hope you could see that. I don't mind that look. I think it looks kind of cool. Like copper is coming out from the bottom and I don't know. I kind of like it. Anyway, I like this much better because it's more blonde. When I look in the mirror now, I see a blonde with a little bit of red peeking out here and there. And I'm okay with that. I certainly like it better than the full-on copper. I should have listened to my first thoughts, you know? I'm used to seeing myself as blonde, don't know if I can see myself as anything else. But you don't really know until you try, right? And maybe I should have lived with it longer to see if it's something I would get used to and start to enjoy. But I'm an impatient girl, and maybe if I wasn't going to work, I would have been more willing to wait. I don't know. Anyway, this is what I have ended up with. I'm not unhappy with this. It's still not exactly what I was going for though, and I think I could achieve what I was going for by using the highlighting cap. Not as much hair out as I took last night for this, but take out some and put the copper back on. If I do that, if I try that, it won't be for 2 weeks. Although with the Color Oops, it says that you can recolor your hair the same day. That stuff is amazing. Although it was like, you know, when you have to rinse for 20 minutes, I was rinsing and rinsing, and I had my my phone just outside of the tub where I could see it easily if I pulled back the shower curtain. And yeah, I'm rinsing and rinsing and rinsing, thinking, you know, I got to be close to the 20 minutes. And it had been like 3. And every time, so I'd go back and rinse and rinse and rinse some more. I'm going to check now. 2. So either I have a very skewed sense of time, or it, and in the end, I didn't do 20 minutes. I did 10, but I told myself, they think you're doing your whole hair, right? And I was just doing what was in the cap, and I still had the cap on. So I was doing a lot less hair than their instructions were intended. So I think I was okay to do 10. And then I did 3 sets of 5 or close to 5. So anyway, It's still not exactly what I had in mind. It was an adventure. You know what? I'm probably going to spend the 2 weeks thinking about putting the copper highlights in. Let me know what you think. Should I try it? And you've seen kind of the full range. So you saw blonde, full on copper, and this sort of hybrid blonde copper. Let me know which one you like the best. Okay, let me know what you think I should do next, if anything. Maybe the do next is let your hair rest. I'm really eager to read your comments and hear what you think. If you enjoyed this video, thank you for giving it a thumbs up. Thank you for subscribing if you're not already subscribed. And thank you for joining me on this little adventure on Sherry Tries That. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.